Ah, Frogger. What more classic arcade game could there be? Oh my god, I died already. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play 1000 Games. I'm your host, Gaming Jay, and welcome to our 401st episode. We are officially in year 5. We had a blast in episode 400 playing with those 4 jokers, playing some Super Smash Brothers. We had, of course, Brandon, Jordan, and JP joining us. But now it is time to get back to our retro gaming roots to really get this 5th year started off right with an arcade classic known as Frogger, which is one of the most probably iconic video games of the golden age of gaming. You are a frog and you have to cross a road. It's pretty much, you know that old joke, why the chicken cross the road? It's pretty much that in video game form. Someone took that joke and turned it into a game. In fact, I think like modern clones like Crossy Road and stuff, you actually are a chicken, so it's kind of come full circle. Anyway, today is a special episode. We're going to play this game first in its arcade form, as you can see right here, into all its glorious 1981 goodness. And after we check out the arcade version, I have 4 other versions to check out. First, on the Atari 2600, because that was the definitive home console of the golden era of gaming. We actually have 2 versions. Yes, there were 2 official versions of Frogger on Atari. We're going to check those out. Then, we're going to hop, no pun intended, forward to look at some remakes and re-releases of this game. So this game had ports on all sorts of different systems. I'll talk about that once we get going. But it was remade on the PlayStation 1, and then later on had an unreleased Game Gear prototype that further pushed the boundaries of what Frogger could even be. So, arcade, Atari, PS1, and Game Gear, how do they compare? Let's do it. I'm going to slam some quarters into the arcade machine here and start the journey. So this is Frogger. You play, once again, as a frog, and all you have to do is hop on turtles, as I am right now, hop on logs, and pretty much just get to the other side of the screen. Oh god, oh god, I just died. Okay, so you cannot go off the edge of the screen. I was waiting for a log and it never arrived. Oh my god, I got run over by a bus or something. So there's like race cars you can see down here. Then there's sort of like, what are these, bulldozers? Then we have people, everyone's out for like a leisurely ride, you know, like nobody's out to squish frogs. You can eat spiders and bugs or something, or whatever the heck I got there. Oh god, get off of that one. So, there are these sort of like, oh god, I keep screwing up. Oh, I'm dead already. I'm trying to get into that little nook in the far left. So basically, Frogger has 5 different homes. And I guess it's 5 different frogs, actually. And you just sort of have to get him across the screen to the 5 nooks. Oh, God, what? That wasn't lined up properly? Oh, these old arcade games are so particular. I can't believe that I've, like, died 3 times and I haven't shown you guys, like, a single success. So there we go. In 44 seconds, we saved a single frog. So, things do get harder, by the way. Right now, we're hopping on logs and lily pads and turtles and stuff. Later on, snakes and crocodiles and stuff will show up, and they will eat good old-fashioned Frogger here. So, we have 5 versions of this game to check out today. Oh, God, it's sinking! I saw that happening in slow motion and didn't know what to do. Forgive me, anyone out there who is a Frogger aficionado. My Frogger skills are clearly rusty at best. See if we can get in here. Boom! I think that is the hardest one to get into because the logs in the very last row there are going to the right. So like if I feel like if I can get into that one, we're in good shape for the rest. Like this one's easy. Alright, there's only one more and then we've passed the level. Then we have beat Frogger. Which is actually truer than you know. And most of these old arcade games, pretty much, hey, I think those turtles got faster. Oh no, I landed in the water. Oh no, we died. Okay, we got at least pass level 1 in each of these versions of the game. We have 5 versions, but we're not gonna switch just yet. Oh, damn it. I got too excited. Wow, Frogger is harder than I remember. Actually, you know what? Truth be told, many of these old arcade games I find are harder than they seem on paper. Like, you think, oh yeah, Frogger, you just kind of like hop around and like get into these nooks and stuff. How hard can that be? And ho ho, you have not played a game from the golden age of gaming in a while, because if you had, you would realize that can actually be very challenging. Let's just say in the golden age of gaming, they did not hold your hand. They wanted your quarters real bad, and there was one way to get them from you, which was killing you. They literally, game designers would murder you for your quarters. Oh god, into the water. So it seems like a random row of either logs or lily pads will speed up. And when that happens, that's when old Gaming J here gets a little screwed over. But I think we got this one. Classic. By the way, can we talk about what's going on with this road for a second? Like, it's like alternating lanes of cars going in one direction or the other. That would be like the most dangerous highway in existence. It's like, oh yeah, if you're driving westbound, be in lanes 1, 3, or 5. Ah, damn it. Oh, come on. Okay, one more shot. We gotta do this. I don't want to linger too much on any particular version, though, because as you can guess... Oh my god, I can't believe I survived. As you can guess, all the versions are pretty similar, although I do have some surprises for you when we get to the PS1 and Game Gear. But that said, I mean, they're only so different, so we're going to see this same core gameplay, damn it, on the Atari twice. So we don't need to stay on the arcade that long. I just would like to get at least to, like, the second level so we can see the crocodiles. I remember the crocodiles as a kid. That is definitely a thing I recall. Okay, boom. All right, there's only 2 more, and they're the easy ones. The ones in the middle. I can do this. I just have to, like, concentrate. I'm not even going for, like, the bugs or the extra lives or whatever the hell that blue frog is down there that's hopping around. He can fend for himself. I'm just trying not to die. This is the second frog-based video game I recall from my youth. I remember there was another one, and I'm blanking on the name of it, but you were frogs on lily pads, and you had to jump and try and eat flies. Boom! We just passed the level. And there were like flies kind of in the middle of the screen. You had to jump from the left or right side of the screen to eat the flies. I don't know if you guys recall that. Alright, things have gotten a little harder. Notice I also have a time meter at the bottom, which I do not like. And notice that there are now crocodiles. I wonder if you can, like, get on their backs or what. Oh, what? I died? I thought I was totally on the log there. I thought I was totally in the clear. It's hilarious that the more dangerous thing to Frogger is not the cars, you know, the 6-lane highway this frog is, like, running across, but it's, you know, falling in water. Falling in water is this frog's nemesis, but, like, dashing past bulldozers and sports cars is, like, relatively easy for this guy. Kind of amusing, damn it, when you think about it. But not when you die to it. Alright. Well, okay, so that was the arcade version of Frogger. Let's hop over now to the Atari 2600, because as I say, there were 2 versions on the Atari 2600, and we're going to check out both of them. Alright, here it is, Frogger on the Atari 2600. And can you guys hear this? You hear that? This is the sound of my Atari joystick. That is like the good old classic Atari controller squeak. Like it's like rubber rubbing on plastic. Oh man, that takes me back. All right, let's go ahead and hop in here. Again, no pun intended. That's just how I talk. All right, we are the frog at the bottom. We cannot move. I think you can't move until the intro song stops playing. They sort of really want you to get immersed in the frog universe before you go. And off to the races we go. Literally feels very similar to the arcade, although obviously sort of very dumbed down. Boom, we got a frog in. Now, Frogger here, as I say, it came out in 1981 in arcades, and actually, you know, before we talk about ports, guess who made Frogger? I don't know if you guys would know this necessarily. Oh God, we're gonna die! Wait, what? Oh God, I jumped off the log. Whoa, wait, hold on. You can go off the sides in this version? In the arcade, that totally killed you. Hold on, let's test this little theory out here. Yeah, you just come out the other side. Oh my God, that makes it so much easier. There's so much less pressure. This is like if you wanted to play like a no-stress game of Frogger, this would be your game. Oh God, but you still die stupidly. Anyway, this game was actually produced by Konami. Believe it or not. I looked it up. It was not their very first arcade game. It was very close. They had sort of like 3 arcade hits at the time. I think it was like Scramble and some other game that I'm blanking on at the moment. But this was an early Konami game. And, like Konami, that's the company behind Contra, Castlevania, Metal Gear, Silent Hill. They have made some of the most classic, games out there. Konami's I consider it like a retired company nowadays. They don't really produce video games anymore. They've lost their way, to be honest. It's a real shame because they did produce so many classics back in the day. Whoa, where am I? I did a double jump by accident. Boom. This is so much easier now that you can go off the sides of the screen. Wow. But yeah, so Frogger was first produced in the arcades in 1981, and it has this interesting history of ports, where so the computer rights, so the disc-based rights to the game were sold separately from the cartridge-based rights. So the company that owned the disc-based rights, by the way, was Sierra. Like Sierra, the company behind Leisure Suit Larry, and I think I ran out of time there. I was dawdling too much. These frogs apparently have a limited lifespan before they just croak. Again, nope, actually, the pun wasn't intended there. But yeah, Sierra, the company behind Leisure Suit Larry, King's Quest, Police Quest, Space Quest, all that good stuff, they got the rights to Frogger. So they ported it to all the home computers, like PC and Commodore 64. What else did they port it to? Like pretty much everything. And the company that got the cartridge-based rights were Parker Brothers of the board game fame. I guess they were dabbling in video games back then. I think they still do a bit of dabbling in video games. But anyway, yeah, it's so this game was released separately by 2 different companies depending on if it was on a cartridge or disc. And that brings us to the Atari 2600, which we are now playing the cartridge version, which was by Parker Brothers. But we're going to have a disc version that we're going to check out shortly because, damn it, there was a company that produced something called the Starpath Supercharger, which was an Atari add-on that let you actually play discs and cassette tapes. And so a company was able to buy the rights to Frogger legitimately and produce a second Frogger game. So I've never heard of this before in my entire history of playing these retro games, but here's a retro game that has 2 legal, legitimate ports by 2 different companies on the same console. I think that is fascinating, and so I'm really excited to see what the next version of Frogger is going to be like. I mean, this is pretty much exactly what I thought Frogger on the Atari 2600 would be like. You can even see the crocodiles up there. Like, it is primitive, but the gameplay is actually very reminiscent of what you got in the arcades. So it is very, very reasonable, I'd say. If you like Frogger in the arcades, like, this certainly doesn't look as nice, but the thing with the Atari 2600 is it just didn't have the graphical capabilities to do what you saw in the arcades, but oftentimes it would sort of approximate the gameplay at least, very well. So it's like we have abstract symbols here for like turtles and lily pads and stuff. You have to use your imagination a bit. And the game is a little different. There's not as much, stuff for you to jump on and things like that. Can we jump? We can jump on the back of the crocodile. That's awesome. We can ride a croc. That is a bold frog who's riding a crocodile. We get our nice little Frogger tune between levels here. So there you go. But yeah, this game was ported to pretty much, everything. And there's a snake. See the snake there? So that snake starts showing up in the later levels, so you can't hang around the midpoint. You know what, let's hop over to the other Atari Frogger game, and we'll continue our discussion of Frogger ports there. But before we go, actually, notice those black bars on the left side of the screen there? Here's a bit of classic gaming trivia for you guys. You know why those black bars are there? That's because game code is getting computed at that point in the screen redraw. So the Atari didn't have enough power to redraw the screen and compute game code at the same time. And so the developers sometimes would basically take control of the CPU when the sort of CRT raster little dot, whatever it's called, was on the left side of the screen, and they would actually run a little bit of game code and then let the computer keep redrawing the screen. So those black bars, I believe, if I am correct, those black bars are the game code of being executed, which is kind of hilarious to think that a computer, the Atari 2600, couldn't handle it. Anyway, let's hop over to the Starpath Supercharger version of Frogger. All right, now this version of Frogger is called the Official Frogger. I like how they put official there. Kind of reminds me of like the real Ghostbusters to differentiate itself from the other Ghostbusters cartoon that pretty much nobody ever watched. I feel like it's just totally a dig at the Parker Brothers Frogger that we just saw to be like, yo, this is the real one. And whoa, actually, hold on, maybe this is the real one. Look at this. This looks way more like the arcade than the other one. Way more sophisticated. Also, I like how when you jump on logs or anything in both versions, the Atari, like, freaks out. Like, the log starts glitching, because, like, it can't draw, like, a frog and a log at the same time. It's like, too much is occurring! But, wow, this really does look like the arcade version. Now, I'm curious, what would happen if we went off to the side on this version? I kind of don't want to try it unless... Oh, God, we need to. I just totally died. Also, I like how it's just playing like random jingles here. We'll try it. Why not? Oh, I think we do come to the other side. Okay, but we were on turtles that sank. All right, let's get ourselves together here, get ourselves composed, and let's actually pass a couple levels of Frogger here. I feel like this version almost gives us the best shot to get far in the game because, well, first of all, we're a little more practiced than we were when we first started playing Frogger here today. But the ability to go off the side of the screen is actually a huge advantage. And this version actually feels a little more playable than the other Atari version. Wow. Can you imagine back in the day, you like beg your parents to buy you Frogger for your Atari because like you love the game. And then they get it for you and you go over to a friend's house and he's like, hey, I got Frogger on disc. Whoa, look at that car. That guy's totally speeding. And this gets loaded up and you're like, what the F? Like, that is not the Frogger that I've got. Holy crap, how are we supposed to get past those cars? Oh god, we just died. Okay, go! It's actually kind of scary there. Like that frog's taking chances, man. And I also love how you can just totally ride the crocodile. Now when Frogger came out, I think it was sort of... Oh god! It was, people considered it sort of innovative in that there were so many ways to die, if that's kind of interesting to you. You know, it seems trivial to us nowadays, but like back in the day, you know, like you play video games. Oh god. Oh god, that is actually really hard to get past, those speeding cars. Oh, son of a bitch. Oh, we just seem to have infinite lives here, so I'll take it. But yeah, so you can get run over by cars, you can drown, you can get eaten by crocodiles, all sorts of bad stuff can happen to you in the world of Frogger. But that was actually considered sort of like an inventive thing, an inventive aspect of the game. Oh, god damn it. I just jumped in the water. I guess back in the day, like, you know, you play Pac-Man, you get eaten by a ghost, and it's like, that's the only way to die in that game, is you get eaten by a ghost. And this one is like, look at all the fascinating ways you can die from drowning, which actually makes no sense since you're a frog. But we'll give that one a hard pass, because what can we do? Drowning, all the way up to being squished by a car, eaten by a crocodile, run over by a truck, I guess, all sorts of different things. Whoa, those turtles that sink are actually really annoying. Half the time when I've died on them, I haven't realized I'm on the kind of turtle that sinks. It'd be nice if those turtles were just like a different color, so you kind of knew. You knew that, oh yeah, don't go in that one, because that's a sinky turtle. Boom. I wonder why both of the home ports allow you to go off to the side of the screen. I always thought in Frogger that would kill you, and totally in the arcade version it does. But it seems like in the home version they were like, blah, whatever. They're like, just make him come out the side. It's so much simpler. Maybe it was like easier to program. Wait. Did we just hear Yankee Doodle? Was Frogger just playing Yankee Doodle? What's with these like old-timey like show tunes that it's playing? It's like back in the day when game developers couldn't afford an actual musician to create music for their games. They just like looked in the public domain for like, you know, old-timey show tunes, man. That's all we need. Boom, boom. Okay, that one, I guess. Oh, we're gonna eat that frog. Oh, damn it, that fly. We missed the fly. That's okay. Oh god, this is where we died last time. Wait, can we do this? Oh, we totally can. Okay. So we can, like, live indefinitely. Oh, I ran into the back of a car? That killed me? This is a sensitive frog. Jeez, that is the hardest part of any Frogger game we've encountered so far. Those speedy cars. I'd like to get one more level through this version of Frogger before we move on, just because I feel like this one is the most playable one that we've encountered so far. And again, it's probably because I got a bit of practice. But I think it is a little easier than the arcade, because you can scroll the sides like this. Although I am running out of time like a madman. I really gotta move my frog butt here so we don't die. There's the crocodile in that one. Boom! Oh, I like how it gave you like a little sound cue that you were running out of time, so like you knew to stop dawdling. It's actually pretty cool. Got some good features in this version of Frogger here. Come on, log, hurry up! Alright, and we are almost there. Alright, we're doing good. We just gotta not run into the back of a car. And here we go. Alright. So I think the next level is where the snake will actually appear. We'll just ride this crocodile. He seems okay with it. If he's okay with it, I'm okay with it. And into the home we go. One more frog. Getting better at this whole little frog journey thing. Oh god. I feel like I'm kind of trapped between pink cars here. Okay, and go for it! Jeez. So even in these old arcade games, you really do sometimes get these, like, you know, heart-pounding moments where you have to, like, try and just skirt by. Alright, we did it! Okay, we have made it to the level with the snake, and you can see him there doing his snaky things. I actually had to reset the... Oh, damn it! I had to reset the game and get back to this point because my Atari screwed up. But, oh god, I just got run over again. We're not even gonna make it to the snake here. So I've played through this game up to this point twice, and I don't have a lot of... Oh, son of a bitch. Come on, we can't even get past the road anymore. It has gotten hard. You know, one thing I forgot you can do is go backwards. So it's like I've always been going forwards, but actually there's, damn it, some strategy to going backwards sometimes. My god. By the way, before we move on from the Atari, how did you guys used to hold your Atari 2600 controllers? I feel like there's two definitive ways. One is to sort of grasp the controller joystick, like with your palm. And another way is to hold the bottom of the controller with your palm, and then have your thumb on the very tip of the joystick, if you guys know what that means, if you can like kind of picture it. And I feel like actually I play Atari way better when I use my thumb on the tip of the joystick to actually control it. Oh god, we're never gonna make that. Wow, this game gets hard fast. Alright, well, we have seen both Parker Brothers and the Sierra Online. That was the name of the company, actually, even back in the 80s, which always bugged me because it's like, it was before the internet, but then when the internet came out, online meant something different. So Sierra Online always felt like it was an online company, but it wasn't. Anyway, we've seen the Parker Brothers and the Sierra Online version of the Atari 2600. We've seen the arcade version. So this is how Frogger existed in the golden age of gaming. But Frogger was such an important franchise that it had a lot of longevity, and it was rebooted a number of times. As I said, it had ports on all sorts of things back in the day: ColecoVision, Commodore 64, TRS-80, TRS-80 Color Computer, the Apple II. It also got ported into later consoles like the Sega Genesis, the NES, the Super Nintendo, all that stuff. We could check out all those other versions. Truth be told, I've looked at them and they all look very similar to the arcade port. So what we're going to do is actually look at the PlayStation 1 version of Frogger, which was basically an attempt to reboot or reimagine Frogger. And then from there, I have a special treat for you. So, let's say goodbye to the golden age of gaming, and let's pop over to the PlayStation 1. Ah, Frogger, as we remember it, except it's been upgraded. Frogger, as I've said already numerous times, is an iconic game, so of course it was going to get the modern treatment. I mean, like, not only was it ported to everything, but systems that did not have official ports back in the day, like the ZX Spectrum and stuff, had clones like Ribbit or Hopper or Froggy. And it was on everything. So, of course, there was going to be an attempt to revive it. And this is Frogger on the PlayStation 1. It was also released on PC, I believe. So Frogger got a visual upgrade from 2 dimensions into the 3D space, into the glorious 3D polygons. of the PlayStation 1. I think largely the game is the same, except here's something that's quite different. Different levels. And the levels actually are quite a bit different. Oh, so hold on. There's like a street with trucks, lily pad zone, fall, a gear place, like a factory, and then there's like bats down there. There's like Halloween levels. Okay, we gotta try these each out once. Level 1 is known as the retro level. I'm very curious what the other levels have in store. Hop to it, 25 seconds. And so you can see it's very similar to what we had before. Oh, I died already. Oh, that's okay. As I say, we want to check out each of these levels more than we want to like beat the game. Oh my god, I died again? Okay, that's not acceptable. I got to do a little better than this. Maybe this will be the practice run, and we'll try once more once I kind of get the hang of it. Can you go off the sides in this one? I feel like every Frogger has like different rules for going off the sides, whether you can or cannot go off the sides. You get like a little countdown timer when you actually get Frogger to the other side. Okay, so let's start over here. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, what? I died? It's actually harder to line your jumps up, or like they get lined up slightly differently than in the old arcade mode. Okay, you know, we've seen the retro level. I want to see what some of these other levels actually are. Lily Islands. Like, we've seen the retro level in like 3 different games already. We probably don't need to go through that one again and again and again. So let's see what this one has to offer. So when Frogger modernized, now, oh, interesting. It's like a whole little puzzle. Whoa. This is kind of fast. Oh god, I'm getting disoriented already. Oh my god, it rotates. How are you supposed to know where you're going? Is there any other log that's gonna come, or am I just like screwed? Should I have gotten on that log? Is it too late? Okay, there it is. Oh, what? Did you see that? I totally jumped in on that log. There's sort of like some like forward momentum or something that happens. Oh wait, you can. Oh, look at this. Oh, I did a super hop. What was that? Hold on. Okay. You can use your tongue to eat stuff, and you can do a super hop. All right. Let's see. Super hop. Super hop. Okay, the super hop does nothing. I thought it would jump extra far. Let's try that one more time. I'm pretty sure I could have eaten those flies that we had encountered. So, yeah, actually, in the original Frogger, I think you could eat flies, but they were just pretty much... I think they just sort of appeared on different lily pads or in different like hovels where Frogger would go at the end. Oh, come on! And pretty much they just gave you like extra points. I don't think there was an extra like fly eating button, unless I am mistaken. Also, listen to this like smooth jazz we got going on here behind Frogger. Okay, we can eat some flies, because why not? Here, let's eat them all. Boink. Boink. His tongue really moves in mysterious ways, like... Oh, look, it went right behind him to eat a fly. I wondered if it would do that. Okay. I loved frogs as a kid. I was really into the idea of frogs. I really wanted, damn it, like a toad or a frog or something. Whenever we went to areas with ponds or swamps, I was always like into looking for frogs. I don't know what my fascination with frogs was as a kid, but I just really wanted a frog. I thought it would be so cool if I had a frog. Oh, look, his tongue is pink now. I don't know what that means. It was orange before, now it's pink. What could that possibly mean? Not too sure. Am I making progress here? Is this an improvement on the log I was on before? I don't even know how to tell on this level. Look, we're back where we started. How does this level end? Is this just frog purgatory? Do I just ride this forever? Oh, here's something different. Okay, let's go ahead and eat this one. And anyone else here want to get eaten? This guy? Oh, look, and there's turtles. Oh! Alright, so it turns out when you take Frogger out of 2 dimensions and put it in 3, it gets like decidedly more difficult. Let's take a look at this factory. I want to see what's going on in the factory. We'll end on the fall level, but this is, oh god, 40 seconds to go. Okay. This seems like far more complex. Imagine they had this in the old days, in the old classic days of arcade games. Is anything gonna come, or there we go? We go on this. We go on this. Oh look, there's like the game is slowing down. It, like can't chug this hard on the PlayStation. Oh my god, there we go. So Frogger turns into like a puzzle game. Look, and there's like lava on the floor. What is happening? What happened in the world of Frogger? He started out, he just wanted to cross the road. Now he's basically in like Bowser's castle. Boom. There we go, we got another frog. Is that it? Oh no, we gotta keep going. I thought that was it. Okay. Am I marooned? Am I trapped? Okay, we'll jump on this thing. Man, once these things start getting into puzzles, it gets like way more complicated. And the annoying thing is, wait, how the hell do you get out of here? Wait, am I just screwed? Am I just screwed here? Let's try a super hop. 10 seconds, 9, 8, 7, 6, super hop to our death. All right. Well, you know, we get the gist. Suicide. Let's move on to the fall level here. Oh, we got another life. Suicide. All right, there we go. Game over. We didn't make it through the weird factory. I feel like, as interesting as it is to see sort of Frogger have a new skin put on it, like the retro level really seems like the best one. These other ones are all sort of like variants of it, and it sort of feels like you're taking old gameplay, trying to update it. It's kind of working. Can we jump on that? No. Oh, the bees! The bees will kill you. I thought we could eat the bees. Guess not. I guess even frogs are allergic to bee stings. Oh god, the bees got us again. What are we supposed to do in this level? They probably tell you when you start the level, and I just definitely didn't read the directions. Oh god. Bees. Bees everywhere! Holy crap! What are we supposed to do? Eat this thing? I got it! Game over. Alright, well, Frogger on the PS1, I'll say it's kind of interesting. I like this retro remix, this sort of retro level. The other levels, I feel like I'm less crazy about. Like, one of them is like a puzzle level. You have to know what logs to jump on. You know, this, if anyone bought Frogger for the PS1, this is the level that they want to play. Like, this is what they came here for. This is the main attraction. I wonder if we can actually pass the first level. Like, there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to. We've played Frogger on like 3 systems so far, with varying degrees of success. We should definitely be able to do this. Oh, come on! I feel like oddly enough, the jumping mechanics are less forgiving in this version of Frogger than in old versions. Oh god, those stupid turtles that sink will be the end of me. You really just have to like memorize patterns in Frogger, and I did not do that as a kid. I was not spending my youth memorizing the frog patterns. There we go, we got 2. Just gotta get 1 more. They've actually also, you know, this is very subtle, but they've shrunk the level. Normally there's like 5, oh no, there are 5 hovels. I was gonna say, normally there's 5 hovels to get to, they only have 4. But I forgot how to count for a moment there. It's back, I've remembered. Goes 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. I got it. 8, 7, 6, yes! Eat that orange frog, or save him, or whatever the heck you're doing. Yeah, what is happening? In the old retro games, he was like going into his home. Like he had 5 different homes and he was just trying to decide which one to go into. But now there's like different colored frogs that we gotta save. They're kind of like Yoshis, you know, like there's all those baby Yoshis that were different colors and had different abilities and stuff. All right, going around. I think in some versions, by the way, that bulldozer is accompanied by a tank. Like that row of cars is sometimes also just, you know, sporting tanks, which is pretty hilarious. Boom! We passed a level. I'm a Frogger champ. So we on to retro level 2. Let's do it. Let's see what we got. Show me the tanks or whatever. Or just a bunch of cars. Just a bunch of cars. A bit more cars than last time. Oh god, I'm about to run out of time. What the heck is this? Oh god, 10 seconds. Nobody can get there in 10 seconds. Game over. All right. Oddly enough, the PlayStation 1 version is harder than the retro versions that we've been trying. We do get to put in our high score, but I'm going to forego that because we're going to move on. So we have seen the arcade version. We've seen both of the Atari 2600 versions. We've seen the attempted revival with the PS1. And now to take you into the world of what could have been with an unreleased prototype for the Sega Game Gear. The Sega Game Gear proudly presents a game that was never released, but should have been. I've checked this out. This is actually what I would say is my favorite modern interpretation of Frogger, believe it or not. I think it does justice to the old retro system while also making it totally new. And so here we go. This is the life of Frogger. Notice, first of all, that you have an insane time limit, 195 seconds. Cars also, like, randomly stop sometimes. I don't know what's up with that. You can save other frogs. They hop around with you. You have a tongue, so you can eat stuff. Can we eat apples, by the way? Oh, we totally can. Let's go ahead and eat this apple, too. Yeah, we're eating apples. Eating apples, living the frog life. And there's, like, multiple ponds to cross. There's multiple roads. They still have this weird thing. Oh, that still kills you. Okay, I guess I was expecting too much to be able to, like, go off the side of the screen. But they still have this weird thing where on any given highway, half the lanes are going one way and the other half are going the other way. But look at this. Isn't this like a fascinating... Oh, there's a fly. Eat him. Eat him. Oh, he flew away. Isn't this like a fascinating sort of like reimagination of Frogger? Like, I definitely think so. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like this is actually like... I wish they had released this game. Off we go. Oh, we're about to get run over by a truck. Jump. Jesus. It's actually pretty scary. So this is Frogger on the Game Gear, produced by Sega. Interesting bit of trivia. Did you know, I did mention earlier today that, oh god, here we go. I did mention earlier today that, jeez, I keep having to think, that Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo both had ports of Frogger. And did you know... Oh, we have to save 3 frogs. That's what we're trying to do here. I get you. I was wondering where the goal was, but we have to save 3 frogs. Okay, so we found one. But did you know that the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo versions of Frogger were the last games in North America ever released for those respective systems? So the very last Super Nintendo game ever released in North America was Frogger. And that is... Uh-oh, am I trapped? Totally trapped. That is kind of interesting, I thought. Also, Sega was the one who had the rights to Frogger back in the day. So the reason that Parker Brothers and... Oh, damn it. That thing was sinking. The reason Parker Brothers and Sierra had different versions of... We're going to keep playing this for a bit. Had different versions of Frogger on the Atari 2600, and the reason that the tape and the cartridge rights to Frogger were sold separately is that Parker Brothers actually bought the rights from Sega, who were distributing Frogger, I believe. So it's this sort of like weird, this weird quirk of gaming history. I don't think any gaming company since has ever split up the rights the way that it occurred with Frogger. But that's basically what was going on. Very interesting. All right, jump. So Sega has had his hand in Frogger since the beginning. So it is kind of interesting to see that they actually were contemplating sort of reimagining the game. And actually, honestly, this feels more like a reimagination of Frogger to me than the PlayStation 1 version. Because here's the thing with the PlayStation 1 version. It was fine. Okay, we just saved all 3. But now what do we do? Now that we've saved them. Here's the one thing I don't understand about the Game Gear Frogger. Where do we go from here? Anywhere? We can get this briefcase. Somebody left their briefcase on a log. I'm just going to take it because I'm a frog. Hopefully nobody minds. Do we jump in here? What is this? Nothing. Okay. I might have to look this up, to be totally honest. I'm just going to try going back in the level here. I have 186 seconds to figure this out. So we'll just kind of hop around, explore level. Look, there's ice cream down there. Do frogs like ice cream? I guess so, because it gave me some bonus points. Oh, God. Okay. Oh no, Frogger, why? We'd saved all the other frogs. I think maybe I have to save the frogs and then come back to the starting point. That's my guess. We have to eat some apples along the way though, because it's delicious. Why wouldn't you just eat free apples? Well, you'd have to be stupid not to eat free apples, son of a bitch. You have to be stupid to do what I just did there. Okay, hold on. I think we're definitely gonna die here. I would like to be able to pass the first level of this unreleased prototype, but if I can't, I'm going to claim that it's because the game is unfinished, not because of anything to do with my skill or ability. I know where these 3 frogs are, off by heart now. I've done this so many times. Okay, jump. Alright, we got our 3rd frog. Let's get the hell out of town. Let's get out of here, man. Froggy. Oh, you can jump on top of those? I thought those were like trees. I was like, there's no way he can jump on those. They're too high. But he found a way. One reference, by the way, I will always remember for Frogger is the Seinfeld reference where, George Costanza, basically, he was like a Frogger champ back in the day, as it turns out. And the pizza shop where Jerry and George used to go as kids, it's like selling its Frogger machine. Oh yeah, we passed the level! Boom! I'm really excited to see if level 2 is any different or if it's just the same. I hope it's different. Anyway, George is some like super high score. I think this actual score I have it here is 800. Oh my god, it's a different level. It's awesome. George's score. Look at the crocodile! Holy crap, that's cool. Ah, son of a bitch, I'm dead already. Can we continue? Can we just continue on that same level? Continue. And yes! Alright, awesome. So we get to see some levels here in the Game Gear Frogger. But his actual score was 860,000. Damn it. And I'm looking at my sheet here. 860,630 points. That was a made-up score, obviously, for the TV show. But did you know that score is actually a score that no actual Frogger player was able to beat until 2009? Oh my god, and look, tanks! I was not lying. Tanks were in the old game. I don't know if we actually saw them. We might not have been at a high enough level, but yes, in this Frogger universe, there's like giant tanks just roaming around. Boom, we're riding a crocodile. Oh god. And these levels are getting like pretty sophisticated. Look at this. It's actually crazy. So we can go like this. Oh, there's like a whole little maze here. Wow, this is what the PlayStation 1 version should have been. This is what it should have been. This is actually so interesting. Yeah, the 860,000 of George Costanza was not beaten until 2009. And I think, like, from the 90s into the early 2000s, there were actually various people putting bounties on beating that score. So you could win anywhere from $250 up to $1,000 because people had just put bounties. Like, if you can beat George Costanza's score, I will pay you this much money. And just nobody did it. And it wasn't until 2009 that the score was beat. And nowadays, I think there is one player in the entire world who has a 1,000,000-point score in Frogger, if you can believe it. Only one person has ever actually done it. I don't know if you guys have watched the documentary King of Kong, but it's all about like trying to get like the perfect score in Donkey Kong, or not the perfect score, but the highest score, which is like 1 billion points or whatever it was. I really enjoyed that documentary, and after reading about Frogger, I was sort of thinking, man, like, they should make a documentary about that. Like, why stop at Donkey Kong? Like, Frogger's iconic too, right? I'm really like taking my time with this little maze here because I really don't want to kind of screw it up. There we go. Okay. Oh, this alligator had a briefcase on his back. Okay. All right, we're doing good. Let's get some ice cream to power us through the next part. No! Oh god, the ice cream screwed us over hardcore. Oh damn. It's funny, this is like the version of Frogger I want to like keep playing here, actually. So yeah, King of Kong, they should make a documentary about Frogger. I kind of forget what I was talking about. I got swept up in the moment there, getting squished by a tank. It was actually like very intense for me, guys. Yeah, it is also really interesting to sort of, damn it, think about like how far video games and Frogger and stuff has come, you know, like that George Costanza episode, they played Frogger in the pizza shop when they were kids. You know, back in the day, like, this is how people played video games. Like, you think of the golden age of gaming, it was, you know, they referred to video games as, like, video arcade games a lot back in those early days because people didn't really have home consoles. I mean, Atari would come out shortly thereafter and stuff, but still, it was, like, it was not like today, you know, like video games were a far more kind of like social thing that you did in public spaces. You would go to like a convenience store or a pizza shop and you would, you would play your video games there for all to see. And like, people who were good, like crowds would gather around to watch you. You know, honestly, it's like the first Let's Plays, were people watching in real life. You know, when Let's Plays first came out, people were kind of like, who would want to watch someone play a video game? But like, since the dawn of video games, people have been watching people play video games. I mean, even even with home consoles, you know, like little brothers and sisters would have to sit there and watch their older brothers and sisters play games, because the littler ones never got to dictate when it was their turn or not. They just kind of had to wait patiently. Oh, son of a bitch. Trying to rush through this level, I think. Not intentionally, but just like my fingers are moving when my brain knows I should not. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Got this. It's not that hard to like know what you're supposed to do, but it's harder than it looks to actually implement correctly here. So let's say if I do die here, which is looking likely. If I do die, then we're gonna hop back to the original arcade version of Frogger, and we're gonna kind of think about how far we've come and wrap up our little examination of Frogger here today. Boom. But until that happens, let's keep rooting for me to achieve greatness here as Frogger. Okay, here's our second frog. Where was the third frog? I've kind of forgotten where that guy is from. Oh, there he is. I see him down there. I like how the frogs are just like stranded in traffic, but they seemingly are immune to being run over, and you have to like come and like save them. All right, we got the last one. Time to get the hell out of here. So we just gotta wait for the timing here. Oh God, no, Frogger! You know what? The sinking turtles. Since the arcade game, the sinking turtles have been the ones who get me. All right, well, we had a good run with the Sega Game Gear version. Let's wrap up our thoughts back where we started on the original arcade. Ah, Frogger. What more classic arcade game could there be? Oh my God, I died already. I mean, of course, there are many other classics, but I will say that this is one of the classics of the golden age of gaming. I think that's a pretty non-controversial statement. Frogger, of course, here's one of the games in the book, 1,001 Video Games You Must Play Before You Die, and so the reason we were checking it out today was because of that book, that very book. God, oh my God! Oh my God, that was like the worst run of Frogger ever. Okay, we can't end on that one. We gotta end on a slightly better one. Anyway, in terms of thinking about the book and thinking about Frogger, you know, is it a game that you must play before you die? I think that Frogger is so iconic that if you have not played it before, it's one of those things where you might want to just try it before you die. I mean, it's not like it's gonna like blow your mind or anything like that. I think, you know, attempts to revive it and stuff on the PS1, like, damn it, that game was like, I would say mediocre at best, to be totally honest. I was far more impressed with the unreleased Game Gear prototype. I really want to know why that was not released. I don't have the full history here in front of me. I did not check that out before I started filming for today. But yeah, the Game Gear one actually did feel like a true successor to Frogger. I could see that as a modern reinterpretation of Frogger, and a game that actually takes what was fun about Frogger and adds a bit more, just enough to it, to I think make modern audiences potentially interested. The PlayStation 1 version, I don't know, I mean, like, certainly there were people who enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, I'm not saying that, you know, you were wrong or anything like that, but it did feel, I mean, it was just, I guess it was just different. You know what, I could see it appealing to certain fans of Frogger who liked the jumping and stuff, but wished there were sort of bigger environments to explore. The Game Gear and the PS1 reimaginings just sort of took different, oh my God, really? Took different approaches to how to reimagine the game. And I don't think, like, I personally like the Game Gear one better, but I could see the case for, like, neither really being superior to the other. They're just different. But anyway, what do you guys think of Frogger here? Is it a game that you played back in the olden times? Is it a game that you would definitely recommend to people who have not tried it? Is it a game that's just so classic that, like George Costanza, you still just feel like Frogger is where it's at, man? Like, nothing's ever gonna beat Frogger. Let me know in the comments down below. And again, this is the first official video of year 5 of our 1001 quest. Boy, we have come so far. It has been such a great journey over these past few years playing these retro games, and guess what? We got like 6 years left. You know, all of year 5 and then 5 more years. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to take a brief moment at the end here to say thank you for everyone who's been sticking it out, who's been watching these videos over the past several years, even if you weren't here right from the start. If you've been watching my videos for a few years and enjoying them, I hope that I will continue to create videos that you will enjoy, continue to have fun and funny videos, and You know, if you like my channel, one way you can support it is liking the videos, commenting, and sharing my videos. Hey, if you feel like sharing this video, that would be an awesome favor to me, guys. So, yeah, thanks for commenting, thanks for watching, thanks for sharing over these past few years. Keep it up. Keep it up. And anyway, that's it for me, guys. Until we meet again, remember that turtles can't be trusted, crocodiles will eat you, but flies taste awesome. And, I'm just going to be here getting squashed in the road in this utterly bizarre two-way highway. All right, guys, y'all take care of yourselves, and peace.